Cinderella is being led downstairs by her stepmother. She is told the only way to rid yourself of sin is to sweat it out, as she makes Cinderella sit in front of a burning fireplace until morning, as she writes in her diary. That morning, Cinderella is made to serve her stepsisters breakfast and watch them eat as they tease her with food. There's a loud crash and Anya the housemaid has fallen and injured a leg. Her stepmother says she's seen worse injuries than that, and to get back to work unless she wants to look for a new job. Cinderella is bandaging Anya's ankle when Anya's son shows up with bread he stole from the pantry. Soon after, the king arrives to find a wife for his son, Prince David. As his mother inspects the girls, Prince David goes out to the courtyard and sees Cinderella and invites her to the ball. When the prince returns, he informs him that he's also invited Cinderella to the ball. She's upset because the prince already secretly promised her she'd be queen. Her stepmother is furious and orders her to cut all the hedges in the yard. She then tells Anya she wants to have a word with her. She takes her into a dark room where the stepsisters are waiting, then tells Anya even though you've been here since they've been children, you're useless now, and they strap her to a table and whip her. But that's not enough for the stepmother. She tells the girl she doesn't want her to see anymore. And with the tool her mother gave her, she gouges out both of her eyes. Cinderella is writing in her diary when her stepsister appears and tells her that her mother wants her. They bring Cinderella into the same room where she sees what happened to Anya, and her stepmother forces her to end her life and dispose of the body. Cinderella's stepsister Ingrid meets with the prince in the field. She's jealous and expresses how angry she is that he invited Cinderella to the ball. The prince says it's part of the plan, for her to persuade her that the prince is in love with her, and the night of the ball they'll humiliate her. While Cinderella is cleaning up the remnants of the body, she hears Anya's son come in and asking where his mother is. Cinderella is outside trying to bury the body when she finds a book with a cover made of human flesh. That night at dinner, the stepsisters are upset that Cinderella has eyes for the prince. Ingrid says she needs to be humiliated in front of everyone. Then they remember that she has a diary. Cinderella serves the food and asks her stepmother where's Anya's son. Stepmother says that he went into town. She knows she's lying. Cinderella is in her room crying when her stepsister enters with a fake apology in order to steal her diary. In the morning, her other stepsister Ingrid wants to help her get ready for the ball. She says, "Come with me, I have a dress for you." But the book Cinderella found seems to be calling to her. And when she picks it up, she has a weird hallucination and runs out of the room. Ingrid gives her the dress, and thinking that she's on her side, she gives her sister a big hug. Cinderella goes downstairs ready to go to the ball, but her stepmother said, "Since we don't have Anya anymore, you're not going to the ball, you'll stay here and work." Cinderella goes back to her room and opens the book, and a picture of her appears. Soon after, the blank pages start to fill up with words. As she reads the paragraphs, the words conjure up an entity, her fairy godmother. Fairy godmother asks her what she wishes for. Cinderella says she wishes to see Prince David one last time and dance with him. Her fairy godmother grants her wish and makes her a beautiful dress for the ball. Cinderella ready to leave for the ball, her fairy godmother tells her that when the bell chimes, everything will be gone. She then makes a horse and buggy to carry Cinderella to the ball. Ingrid is dancing with the prince and she's upset that they didn't get a chance to humiliate Cinderella because her mother told her to stay home. But then she shows up. Her stepmother says, "How dare you disobey me?" She says if you leave now, your punishment will be less severe, but Cinderella says she plans to stay. Ingrid then tells her that the prince has been asking for her all night. She tells the prince she hasn't stopped thinking about him since she met him. He laughs, and he whispers in her ear, "Do you really think I would love a whore?" He throws her to the ground and has everyone gather around and tells them to come look at the fool in all her glory. He then starts reading embarrassing pages from her diary while everyone laughs. He then kisses her and spits in her face. That's when Ingrid tells everyone that her stepsister has forgotten her place, and to remind her, she will be their punching bag for the night. That's when everyone joins in beating her and ripping her clothes off. They stop beating her, and she calls for her fairy godmother to ask her for a final wish, and she asks for revenge. Cinderella is granted supernatural power. She locks everyone in with her and unleashes her power. The sound is deafening. The guests try to escape, but the fairy godmother and her beast help Cinderella exact her revenge. That's when Cinderella takes off her glass slipper and uses it as a murder weapon, killing all the guests in her path. The royal family escapes into a room only to be caught by Cinderella and one of the beasts. They grab the king and chop him with an axe. The beasts finish off the queen. One of her stepsisters crawls into her room to try to escape, but she's caught by Cinderella. Cinderella says, "I think my glass slippers will go great with your dress," but her sister says my feet are too big. So Cinderella has the beast hold her down while she cuts her toes off to make them fit. She then gets her with the shoe and finishes her. She catches Ingrid in the hallway and gets her in the eye with the shoe. As she tries to crawl away, Cinderella is relentless with the glass slipper until she's finally eliminated. She catches the prince hiding behind a door in her room. He starts to beg for his life and blames Ingrid for everything, says it was her fault and she forced him to do it. She says, "Oh, you're weaker than I thought," and throws him on the bed with her supernatural power. She gets on top of him, but he manages to throw her off. She shoves a candle down his throat, and then the beasts finish him off. Stepmother sees what's going on and tries to run, but one of the beasts catch her and slice her with the knife. Cinderella catches her stepmother toward the edge of the forest. Knowing she's about to die, she tells Cinderella that her father cried like a baby when she slit his throat. She tells her to burn in hell and sets her on fire. Then the fairy godmother says, "Now it's time for you to come with me and become one of my servants." Cinderella says, "No, it's time for me to be a leader," and kills the fairy godmother. Her servants follow her into the woods.